The NFL is not just football, it's narrative-driven entertainment. But it's not all underdog stories, tales of redemption, and the rise and fall of empires. Sometimes the NFL plays out like an Agatha Christie novel, or perhaps like the new season of Unsolved Mysteries. There are questions from NFL lore that have yet to be answered, and the only people that know will take these secrets to their graves, kind of like a strange hole in the roof of a building. The NFL's Unsolved Mysteries are coming up right after this. My dudes, as the world is starting to open back up, you know what that means. Other things are gonna open up too. And studies show that a woman without a doubt prefers a man that takes care of his junk. That's where Manscaped comes in. With the Perfect Package 3.0, you get the utmost in male personal grooming, with the centerpiece being the Lawnmower 3.0 that features skin-safe technology, 90 minutes of battery life, and a super clutch LED light that goes with the other gear like Crop Preserver deodorant and Crop Reviver ball toner. Add the Peak Hygiene subscription for replacement blades sent right to your door at the frequency you desire. So after this video, head on over to manscaped.com/5-points and get 20% off instantly at checkout. Act now on the perfect package and we'll throw in the Shed travel bag and a pair of boxers and free shipping. Hit that link below and open up a whole new world of personal grooming. Manscaped.com. The benching of Malcolm Butler. When the Patriots lost Super Bowl 52 to the Philadelphia Eagles, their defense surrendered 374 passing yards and 4 passing touchdowns in their 41-33 defeat to Nick Foles. That onslaught might not have happened if their starting corner, the man who single-handedly saved the Patriots in Super Bowl 49, was on the field. Why did Bill Belichick bench Malcolm Butler, who played in all 18 games leading up to the Super Bowl? It's not wise to trust a word that comes out of Belichick, who stated in the post-game conference that the decision to bench Butler was a coach's decision, not related to discipline. Butler himself said, "Guess I wasn't playing good or they didn't feel comfortable. I don't know, but I could have changed that game." Even if Butler had been struggling, it couldn't have been much worse. His fill-in Johnson Batamasi got torched, but regardless of how things were, Butler remained sidelined. Not inactive though, which indicates that he was a failsafe that never got used, aside from one special teams play. Defensive coordinator Matt Patricia fumbled through his presser. "We were just trying to run some packages we had on defense, so it kind of turned out that way, and the game, with the way it went and some of the situations that came up, that was just kind of the way it went." The notoriously shady Belichick regime has been involved in a number of cover-ups, but never one as self-defeating as this. The refs pick up the flag. The Lions aren't in the playoffs very often, and when they are, they don't exactly have a sparkling record. So when they were the victim of a shady call or non-call in their 2014 wildcard matchup in Dallas, it was extra painful. With 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, Detroit had the ball and a 3-point lead with a 3rd and 1 at the Cowboys' 45. Stafford runs play action, scans the field, and locks onto his tight end, Brandon Pettigrew, who's being trailed in coverage by Anthony Hitchens. Hitchens has his back turned, and as the ball gets there, hooks Pettigrew's arm and runs into him while the pass falls incomplete. A pretty standard case of defensive pass interference. Some yellow laundry enters the frame, the crowd rains boos onto the field, and Pete Morelli starts to announce pass interference until all of a sudden the refs pick up the flag and announce, although not on the TV broadcast, that there was no penalty. Before the call was reversed, Des Bryant even ran onto the field without his helmet to protest, which is against the rules, and did not receive a flag for unsportsmanlike conduct. According to Morelli, the back judge who threw the flag, the head linesman, who had the opposite and even better angle, said there was face guarding with minimal contact that didn't warrant a penalty. Face guarding, as specified in the rulebook, does not include contact, minimal or otherwise. Was this bold incompetence? Did the chorus of boos from the rafters of Jerry World influence the call that was already made, or did the NFL have a vested interest in making sure the Cowboys made it to the divisional round? Perhaps the Lions were once again the sacrificial lamb. Sure enough, the Lions shanked their punt, and Tony Romo threw a game-winning touchdown to Terrence Williams, sealing Detroit's fate and sending them home. The fact is, the Lions wasted a 14-point lead in Dallas, weren't aggressive in sealing the deal, and watched the Cowboys advance. Still, couldn't a team with such a tortured history catch a break for once? Oh yeah, it's the Lions. Who really was behind Deflategate? AFC Championship, January 2015. Colts linebacker DeQuell Jackson picks off a Tom Brady pass and notices something funny about the ball. It's soft. Deflated, if you will. The Colts hand it in to the officials and Deflategate is born. We all know the saga well. The Patriots categorically deny the allegations, cite the ideal gas law, and Tom Brady does a Gronk spike with his cell phone and destroys evidence, leading to his 2016 suspension and the loss of a first-round draft pick for the team. Moreover, the most inexplicable evidence of all, a Patriots locker room attendant caught on surveillance video bringing the 24 game balls into the bathroom. Surely he wasn't using them to wipe. The NFL hired attorney Ted Wells to investigate the situation, and in his 243-page report, he found that the Pats locker room assistant and equipment assistant exchanged texts that included inflation, deflation, needles, and gifts from Tom Brady, who was referred to as the Deflator in a text. With that evidence, it's hard to deny that shenanigans occurred. Sounds cut and dry, but how well known was this scandal? Was Brady acting alone, or was this an organization-wide operation? We'll never know, mostly because of the mumbling. Where did Barrett Robinson actually go that night? Center Barrett Robinson was crucial to the Raiders' success in 2002, earning All-Pro honors as the Silver and Black posted an 11-5 record and advanced to the Super Bowl to face their former coach, Chucky, and his Tampa Bay Bucks. The day before the game, Robbins went missing for most of the day, only turning up late at night. Robbins didn't know where he was, didn't recognize head coach Bill Callahan, and hadn't taken his depression medication that day. Despite orders from Al Davis that Robbins must play, the Raiders deemed him unfit to take the field a full day after his absence. The team even tried to fly him back to Oakland, but Robbins was missing his wallet and ID. Without him, and without his ability to call protections, the Raiders were crushed by the Bucs, who knew the playbook better than they did. It was later revealed that Robbins was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and had ended up in Tijuana to party in a manic state, thinking the Raiders had already won the game. The question is, how did Robbins get to Tijuana, and how did he find his way back in a drunken, manic state? There's also entire hours missing from what Robbins remembers, so visiting TJ and the Pony Show might not be all that he ended up doing. Also, who had taken his ID, and why hadn't he taken his medication the day before the biggest game of his life? Not all 31 flavors of this story add up, and they never will. The firing of Jimmy Johnson. How could a 50-year-old coach who had just won back-to-back Super Bowls be shown the door?
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
That's what happened when the Cowboys, i.e. Jerry Jones, parted ways with Jimmy Johnson, despite the fact that he had just finished off the Bills in the Super Bowl for the second straight year. Jones may have stoked the flames when he stated, "There are 500 other coaches who could have won the Super Bowl with our team," because that's how he talks. Meanwhile, Johnson mentioned that he was interested in coaching the expansion Jaguars when they entered the league in 1995. There was a bitter back and forth between Jones and Johnson, plus a power struggle over who had final say on personnel and team decisions, though we know who had final say. The fact of the matter is, however, that the two had combined for 43 total wins over the last 3 years together and won their 2 Super Bowls by a margin of 52 points. How could a partnership that prominent and that effective end over some bickering? Surely there was more. As the story goes, the two chief Cowboys got drunk at the owners' meeting in Orlando, exchanged some words, and all of a sudden, Johnson was out. No one knows what the two former friends said to one another. The Cowboys got another title in '95 with Barry Switzer, while Johnson couldn't get over the hump in Miami, perhaps proving Jones right that anyone could take them to the Super Bowl. But did Dallas leave a couple more rings on the table when they sent Jimmy packing? Where is Jackie Wallace? Jackie Wallace was a 7-year vet and cornerback in the NFL, a talented player, and when Wallace was cut by the LA Rams after an altercation with the coach following their Super Bowl loss to the Steelers in 1979, he never played again. Wallace, working on an oil platform following his exit from football, turned to crack cocaine and succumbed to alcohol abuse. Finally, after he slid from couch to couch, he just disappeared off the face of the earth until he was found sleeping under a bridge by a New Orleans photojournalist, Ted Jackson, in 1990 at age 39. Wallace talked to Jackson about the struggles of addiction, saying he used his monthly pension from the NFL to finance his hunger for drugs, and that his status as a former player kept him alive even when he owed money to violent dealers. Because they knew that I was a football player, because the guys knew I was going to get the money anyway, the only thing they had to do was be around me. Wallace said in his interview with Jackson, "That's why I didn't get killed." Wallace began to turn his life around, inspired by his encounter with Jackson, but after staying sober for 12 years, relapsed and found himself on the streets again in 2002, finally serving a sentence in 2008 for check fraud. Wallace regained his sobriety in 2014, long enough to reconnect with Ted Jackson and to join a class action lawsuit against the NFL regarding the league's inaction towards concussion safety. Within 3 years, however, Wallace had disappeared again. He has not been seen since 2017. Let's hope he's okay. From the conspiratorial to the somber, the NFL has provided us with a number of questions that have yet to be answered. But for every football mystery, there is someone who knows the truth. Perhaps it's you. It's not you. Well, thank you for watching this video. Please check out the sponsor from the link below. I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it to my next video.